I still remember the first moment it all began, though I never thought it would lead here. I was shy, always fading into the background at church, doing my small part, lighting candles for evening service. I never imagined that a single evening, a single careless moment, would change everything. I reached for a candle on the altar, fumbling slightly with the match. A drop of hot wax slipped from the candle and burned my finger. The pain was sharp, sudden, and I yelped, instinctively pulling my hand back. But before I could even think, he was there. Father Michael. His hand covered mine, gently blowing on the burn, trying to soothe it. And that's when I noticed it. The way his hand lingered a fraction longer than necessary. The warmth of his skin against mine. The faint tremble in his fingers. I should have been grateful, but instead, I felt something else. Something dangerous. Something sinful. I couldn't stop the thought that crossed my mind. How it would feel if his hand wasn't just on my wrist. If it were somewhere else. Closer. Possessive. And I hated myself for thinking about it, but I couldn't push it away. I pulled my hand away, pretending to calm my trembling, but the fire between us didn't leave. I wanted more. Even knowing it was wrong. Even knowing it was forbidden. I wanted him. And somehow, in that quiet, flickering candlelight, I realized this was only the beginning. I was 19, quiet, shy, the kind of girl who preferred to fade into the background, especially in church. My brother, the lay reader, had always been busy with duties, and I mostly just sat at the edge, helping where I could unnoticed. That was my safe place. Until Father Michael arrived, a diocesan priest. He came to the parish quietly. Everyone said he was calm, composed, and holy. His reputation preceded him, even before I saw him. I remember the first Sunday he led service here. I sat behind the choir, fidgeting with my hands, pretending not to notice the way people looked at him, the way they whispered his name. And then our eyes met, just for a second, but it felt like everything stopped. He didn't know me. I was just Chidera, my brother's younger sister, someone who had never mattered to anyone. And yet, there was something in the way he looked at me that made my chest tighten. Not in fear, not in respect, but something else. Something I couldn't name. After service, he moved quietly through the pews, greeting parishioners, nodding and blessing. And when he passed by me, I felt it like a small spark, almost accidental. His gaze lingered just a fraction too long. And my stomach flipped, my hands went clammy. I tried to look away, tried to act invisible, but part of me wanted him to notice me. I told myself it was impossible. A priest untouchable, untarnished, holy. And me, just a girl barely 19 trying to stay out of the way. Yet even knowing all that, a strange warmth curled in my chest every time our eyes met, every time he passed by. I didn't understand it, and I was terrified I would. I tried to focus on my brother, on helping with the parish work, anything to forget the pull that Father Michael had over me. But the spark was there, quiet, subtle, waiting. And somehow I knew the moment I met him was the moment my life would never be the same again. That particular afternoon that everything changed, I felt the weight of my soul dragging me down, heavy with sin, and I knew I had to confess, to lay bare every forbidden thought to the parish's general priest. The church was quiet that evening. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your heartbeat sound like a sin. I stepped into the confession booth, my palms shaking, my breath trembling. It was supposed to be a simple confession. A cleansing. A way to run from the feelings chasing me like shadows. But the moment I kneeled and the grill slid open, I knew it was him. I didn't see his face, only darkness. But Father Michael carried a presence, a warmth, an ache, that no darkness could hide. "Go on, my child," he said. His voice, Lord. It wrapped around me like soft fabric, too gentle, too dangerous. I hesitated, not because I didn't know what to say, but because I knew he would hear the truth behind every word. Then it happened. His hand, a small, accidental movement through the wooden partition, brushed against mine. Just a brush. A whisper of skin. Barely there, but it was enough. A spark shot through me so violently I almost gasped out loud. He froze.
So did I.
And in that frozen second, I felt his breath catch. I felt him recognize me. Chimamanda, he breathed, so soft I almost believed I imagined it. He wasn't supposed to say my name. Not here.
Not now.
Not like that. But there it was. A confession of its own. I shouldn't be here, I whispered. I shouldn't feel what I feel. Silence.
Heavy. Thick. Alive.
Then he leaned slightly closer, just close enough that I could smell him. Frankincense from evening mass.
Soap.
A hint of something warm, something human, something he was trained to kill inside himself. Your voice, he said quietly. I could pick it out of 1,000. My chest tightened so painfully I pressed a hand against it. He continued, voice shaking now. Why do you torment me like this? His fingers hovered near mine again. Not touching this time. Just there. Breathing the same air. Sharing the same silence. Father, I whispered. My sin is wanting something I can't have. He inhaled sharply. Not a holy breath. Not a disciplined one. But the kind a man breathes when he's drowning in the very thing he's trying to resist. And what do you want? He asked. I didn't answer.
Couldn't.
But the silence between us answered for me. It was loud. It was trembling. It was undeniable. He reached out, slowly, painfully slowly, and his finger brushed mine again. This time, he didn't pull away. This time, neither of us did. It wasn't a kiss. It wasn't an embrace. It was nothing and everything. A touch that felt like prayer and sin wrapped into one fragile moment. God forgive me, he whispered, voice breaking, because I don't know if I want him to take this feeling away. My heart cracked open, because in that small wooden box, behind a lattice of carved crosses, a reverend father wasn't fighting temptation. He was fighting me, and losing. And, for the first time, I didn't want him to win. Coming out of the confession booth, I vividly remembered that very day I knew I couldn't deny my feelings anymore. The day I was helping to prepare the altar for Mass. The candle, the wax, the sharp sting on my finger, and the way his hand had lingered just a fraction too long. I couldn't stop thinking about it, couldn't stop feeling it, even now. My mind was somewhere entirely different, somewhere dangerous, somewhere sinful. And then he was there, Father Michael, calm, holy, untouchable, and yet pressing closer, close enough that I could feel the warmth of him seeping into me.
He hugged me.
Just a brief, gentle hug, but it was enough to make my knees weak, my stomach twist, my heart hammer in my chest. I froze, caught between shock, fear, and something I wasn't supposed to feel. Desire. Sinful desire. Every nerve in my body screamed for more, but my mind screamed louder to run. And yet, part of me, the part one didn't want to admit existed, wanted him to hold me longer. I wanted him to feel this too. And then his lips brushed my forehead. Just a soft, fleeting kiss, and yet it was enough to set my blood on fire. My chest tightened, my legs trembled, and I felt heat curling low in my stomach, pooling in ways I knew I shouldn't even acknowledge. My mind screamed at me to pull away. My heart thudded in panic, not just from desire, but from fear. Fear of being caught, fear of sin, fear of what this meant. I wanted more. I wanted him to lean in, to press closer, to close the impossible distance between us. And I think he wanted the same. His eyes held me, searching, questioning, daring. His hands lingered lightly on my arms, his fingers tracing without touching too much. His body leaned slightly toward mine, and my pulse went wild. My lips itched apart. My teeth bit down instinctively as my breath caught in my throat. And then it happened. He leaned in, closer than I thought he would. My body betrayed me with desire, with a thrill I couldn't control, and my mind screamed. But I couldn't. Not here. Not now. Not like this. My fear of sin, of scandal, of the impossible. It was overwhelming. My instincts took over, and I ran. I bolted, leaving the chapel, leaving him, leaving the pull between us raw and unfulfilled. I didn't look back. I didn't dare. My chest heaved, my legs trembling, and heat still burned low inside me. And somewhere behind me, I knew he was standing there, silent, unmoving, guilt heavy in his eyes, guilt for the sin he almost committed, guilt for wanting me, and guilt for the fire that now threatened to consume us both. I ran into the empty streets, my heart pounding, my mind spinning, my body aching. The desire, the thrill, the fear, it followed me, clinging, whispering, reminding me that nothing would ever be the same. And I knew I had just tasted the beginning of something dangerous, something forbidden, something I would never be able to forget. I didn't go back to the church for 2 weeks after the incident. Every morning I told myself I would. Every evening I promised I'd face him. But the thought of seeing him, of feeling that pull again, it was unbearable. Every memory of my forehead against his lips, his warmth pressing into me, made my chest ache, my legs tremble, and a heat curl low in ways I couldn't admit to anyone, even myself. And I knew he felt it too. I could almost hear the silence in the empty chapel, the weight of him lingering where I should have been. I imagined him standing at the altar, head bowed, shoulders tense, like a man who carried the weight of something impossible.
Guilt.
Desire. Frustration. And yet, he didn't reach out. Not for me, not for anything that could betray the vow he held so dear. And for that, I hated myself more. Because I wanted him to reach out. I wanted to be caught, wanted to collapse into him, even knowing it was wrong. The first time I returned, heart hammering like it might burst, I kept my eyes down, avoided his gaze, clutched the pew so tightly my knuckles whitened. But even then, even as I tried to disappear into the background, I caught it. That stolen glance. His eyes, so dark, so conflicted, searching for me even when I refused to meet his stare. And my body betrayed me instantly, pulse racing, heat spreading low, breath catching, tears pricking. Just one look and the ache returned, fierce and unrelenting. We avoided each other after that. Not out of anger, not entirely, but because desire had grown too dangerous, too consuming. Because every brush of hands, every chance encounter, every word spoken too softly could ignite the fire we weren't allowed to touch. And yet, avoidance was agony. Silence was unbearable. Every day apart, I felt him in my blood, my muscles, my chest. Every morning I woke with a craving I didn't know how to soothe, and every night I fell asleep replaying the warmth of his touch, the ghost of his lips, the weight of his body pressed close, just for a fleeting second. I could feel him too. The chapel wasn't the same without me. I imagined his restless pacing, the sighs he thought no one heard, the prayers whispered in desperation, as if begging for strength he didn't have. Miserable.
Just like me.
And somewhere in that misery, I realized he wanted me too, just as badly as I wanted him. And that thought, it burned me alive. We became shadows of each other, close enough to sense, far enough to avoid. Every glance, every nearly accidental touch, every shared space became a battlefield between morality and desire. I shook my head, clearing my mind from the scenario, avoiding the new need to contemplate God, because growing up I was taught not question God. I had just stepped out from the confessional chapel, my chest still heavy with unspoken sins, every heartbeat echoing the candle scene that had haunted me for weeks. It was the reason I came to confess that day. I thought I could leave quietly, slip back into the world outside, pretend none of it had happened, but then I heard him. Chidera. His voice, calm and steady, yet carrying a weight that made my knees weaken. I turned and, before I could think, before I could even move, he was there, Father Michael. His hand caught mine, and in an instant, he pulled me back toward the church grounds, away from the light, away from the world that would never understand. My heart pounded, my body stiffened, but part of me wanted this, wanted him. And then he kissed me. Fiercely, passionately, lovingly. Not a kiss born from desire or lust, but from months of longing, from moments stolen in glances and brushes of hands, from the ache of a love that could never be spoken aloud. Every ounce of restraint he had clung to, every second he had fought his own vows, poured into that kiss. I felt the depth of it in my chest, in my throat, in the tremble of my fingers as they pressed against his shoulders. It was real. It was impossible. It was heartbreakingly ours. Time seemed to stretch and collapse all at once. I wanted to melt into him, to taste a love that could never exist, but fear and impossibility held me tight. And yet every second of that embrace told me everything his lips couldn't. He had wanted this too. He had wanted me all along, and for the first time, he didn't fight it. And somehow, that made my heart ache even more. Then a shadow fell across us. My brother. Frozen, eyes wide, mouth half open, as if the world had stopped for a single, impossible moment. But Father Michael, he didn't flinch, didn't even step back. If anything, there was a quiet triumph in his gaze, a relief that at long last, he had kissed me. And I understood then he wanted more. Not lust, not fleeting attraction, but the kind of love you pray for, the kind of love that shakes your soul, that is forbidden yet undeniable. I could only stand there, trembling, caught between fear, shame, and a love so deep it made my chest ache. And as he held me just a fraction longer, I felt it, the fire of a love that could never fully be, but for one fleeting moment, existed in its purest, most painful form. Even if the world would never allow it, even if we could never speak it, it was real. And I will never forget it. I ran home, but the memory of his lips against mine refused to leave. My chest ached, my hand shook, and yet, part of me longed to see him again. And somewhere behind me, I knew he was watching, his eyes searching, holding, daring me to turn back. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. That single glance said it all. Forbidden, impossible, yet undeniable. And in that quiet understanding, I realized this was only the beginning.